Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another East versus West 17 pre-event interview. I'm your host, Ryan Turner, and I have the privilege of sitting down with one of our elite and most explosive athletes, Matt Mask. Matt, how you feeling?
Good, buddy. I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, we're happy to have you here. Matt has a big match on Saturday against Kydyrgali, Ongarbaev. And before we get into things, remember...
Is it Ongarbaev, Kydyrgali, or Kydyrgali, Ongarbaev?
Unless I've been saying it wrong for a long time.
I've always thought it was Ongarbaev, Kydyrgali, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I tend to butcher names.
Well, now you got me worried.
It's kind of my thing.
As I understood, it's last name Ongarbaev, but different cultures do things differently. Maybe they switch.
Whatever. We're going to call him Ongarbaev, Kydyrgali today.
Sure. All right. We can go with that. Remember, the link to the pay-per-view is in the description. So if you haven't yet, make sure you grab that, sign up. A legendary card is awaiting us on Saturday, headlined by none other than John Brzenk versus Yoshi Kanai. Also, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe because you could be the lucky winner of a signed arm wrestling strap signed by none other than Matt Mask himself. Yeah, how about that? Giving back to the community. Thank you all so much for your support. And now, let's get into things. Matt, what's the final score going to be on Saturday?
Well, what I want it to be is 3-0 for Matt, right?
Quick and easy. Get her done.
I want him to have traveled all the way over here for fuck all.
Yeah,
right?
so
that's my plan.
Yeah, you're here for a win.
Yeah, I'm here to make a statement is what I'm here for.
You just recently made a statement, a big statement with Marcio. I can't believe what I saw. You looked incredible. What's changed? How did you perform so well? You said this might be the best version of yourself ever. Did I hear that?
Yeah, that was one of the best versions of myself. I believe this coming in March 29th, Arlington, Texas, is the best version of me that's walked around in decades.
Really? Why? Well, why now?
Mentally, physically,
yeah.
Just everything's kind of, I've been dealing with a bunch of shit for the last 5 to 6 years.
Yeah. That
I kind of feel has kind of dissipated. It's no longer an issue for me.
Really?
So it's just, I'm at peace with myself and I'm at war with everything else. So,
yeah. That's a scary thought. That is a scary thought. You even felt comfortable enough to go inside with Marcio. Was that planned? Have you been training your hook, or is that?
I'm always training my hook.
Yeah,
my hook isn't my game. It never has been my game. Yeah. It never will be my game. I just kind of want it. I know Marcio is a world class level hooker, and it was more just a test, just to see if I went inside, would I be able to slow somebody like that down where I can possibly transition to something else that's going to better my game. So it was, I still got a lot more work to do. Yeah. I was able to slow him down a little bit enough. Yeah. Where I would be able to possibly transition to another position if I needed to from there. So it was more just to kind of see where I stood inside against somebody like Marcio.
Okay. So we're probably not going to see you diving into a hook on Saturday.
No.
Right. Never mind. No. You're, of course, famous for really your low hand top roll. And that is your ace. Is there something in particular about Kydyrgali that worries you? What do you think his strongest weapons are?
I'd say his explosiveness, his speed, his agility, his ability to be able to transition from one move to another. His ace is his top roll, very, very similar, I'd say, to mine. Yeah. With a lot more driving back.
He has options, though.
But that's not the only place you've ever seen him pull where he gives top-level athletes a challenge, right? Yeah. So it's his versatility is definitely my biggest threat. Yeah. His biggest threat, I feel, towards me. But his explosiveness, he's also got a ton of agility. Right. His stamina is up there, I would say, with some of the best in the world. So he's all around. He's a world class athlete, especially in the arm wrestling world. So. Yeah,
and being from Kazakhstan, I mean, you really have to set yourself apart over there because that is one of the strongest arm wrestling countries in the world.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the big strength countries out there.
Yeah, so. Really special place. And like you said, he has so many options that even if you beat him round one, you're going to have to beat a whole different version of him round two.
I don't think I'm going to see the same Ongarbaev round 1, 2, and 3. I think each one, especially if I capitalize on one, we're going to see him coming in a different angle on 2. he may end up getting round 2. Then I may have to come in a different angle. Then he's going to end up switching up. It's definitely, I believe, going to be a chess game throughout the whole thing. So I don't think what you see in any round is going to be the round that's going to be happening throughout the rest, right? Unless I can completely dominate and control his hand in every round. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of transitions.
Okay.
Mixing it up. So
he's coming off a surgery, but he said he's feeling great right now. So no excuses on his part. How are you feeling health-wise? How's your hand doing? Are we going to get
health-wise? I've been struggling a little bit with incongestion, a little bit of a head cold or whatever here the last couple of weeks. But when they call my name to the table, I know that's going to make a fucking difference.
Yeah. Can you talk a little more about that? Because off the table, you're very friendly, very cool guy to hang around with, very chill. But on the table, you'd be hard pressed to find anybody more amped up than yourself.
It's just, I feel it's where I need to put myself mentally. Some people, when they get the adrenaline going and everything else, you hear them stories about mothers lifting cars off their children. And it's them being able to channel that adrenaline, everything else. And for me, that's exactly where I put my mindset. So I just put myself into a place where anybody that loves me never wants to see me there. So, and that's the one place I feel where I am allowed to bring it out, right? So
how do you do it? How do you bring that out? Is there a trick?
I picture them throwing rocks at my dog, pushing my kids in the dirt, beating my old lady.
Really?
It's, you know what I mean? I just put him in a very nasty place in my mind, somewhere where nobody really wants to be with me. So
okay. So when we oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and just leading up to that event, it's the build-up of him being in that bad place. When they call my name to the table, he's there, right? So,
right. Okay, so it's not a show. You really are in that headspace.
And if you notice any one of my matches, once I do end up getting the match, I feel that it's 100% secure in my favor. That switch turns off, right? So
it's
just where I need to be in order to be able to bring out the best in me. So.
Fair enough. We love that. Talk to me a little bit about your preparation for this match. Do you train up or change up your training for your opponent? Do you have a standard routine? How much table time? How much weights? Been hanging out with Devin. We know you two are boys up there in Canada. A little far apart, as I understand. But.
Yeah, we're about 3,000 kilometers away. It's Canada's a lot bigger.
Turns out,
than what majority of you people seem to think it is. So, especially the people in the States, they think that we're just a walk down the street from each other. We're actually 1,800 miles away from each other. So it's when we do get the opportunity to get together, obviously we take full advantage of it.
Right.
But it's as for my training, I'd say my training somewhat consistently the same. Mindset obviously makes a huge part, especially I think anybody at this level, if your mind ain't in it and your money right, then you ain't right. So my mind, I feel, has been a lot more on point to where it needs to be. My training, I have mixed up my training a little bit. Usually I'll just go to practice and I'll let everybody beat on me for a couple hours during practice. Lately we've been starting off my practices a lot more aggressive, where the guys were setting up with me and were throwing bands on me, so I'm maxing myself out right from the beginning, as opposed to getting myself beat down to a 30% level before I start to try. So I've been maxing myself out right from the beginning on a lot of practices.
One practice a week? Or?
2 to 3.
2 to 3.
2 to 3 practices a week, yeah. So any time I'm not working and it's been a day or two between my last practice, I schedule another one. So
you work, you're an oil worker, right? Oil fields. Does that take you away from your training for long periods of time?
Not long periods of time, just for what I do now. It's not as bad as it used to be when I used to work the rigs before. It'd be 2 weeks at a time. I'd be gone. I'd always have to try to work it into while I was working everything else. Now with what I do, I'm gone for a day and a half to 3 days at a time. So I'm still able to get a little more training. Obviously there's, I got to be a little creative with it. I got bungee cords attached to holy shit handles on the passenger side of the truck, and I'll bring weights.
I think I seen a movie about
the shack. I'll do a little bit of stuff, but I'm still able to get my consistent at least 2 good practices in a week, and then everything in between those practices is weight training that's more based around recovery. I don't hit heavy in between. I like to keep my heavy for table time, because I want to be able to be on the table pulling from 100% exertive position,
Right.
still being able to transition.
Not
So
tired
for
from
me,
it, yeah.
that's key.
Okay.
Training table time is key, and then everything else is just to keep myself beat down in between that process. And obviously the last 10 days to 2 weeks, it's a healing, lots of blood flow, trying to rebuild myself up. Obviously keeping myself at 60 to 70% the whole time. I'm consistently getting stronger, but it's when I get that solid week to 2 weeks rest period, that's when I really find out my level and how strong I am. So the last couple months, I don't really know where I'm at.
Yeah.
I just know I'm stronger than I've been in the last probably 4 or 5 years. But we're going to find out exactly how strong I am in a couple more days.
Yeah.
Correct.
And what's your weight right now?
Right now I am walking, I'm waking up in the mornings at about 2:34, 2:33.
Yep.
And at night, I'm going to bed at about 2:38. So
Okay.
my diet, just because it's a lot easier for me to make the 231s as opposed to the 253 or the super heavyweights, I'll usually be eating 8 to 10 meals a day, spending thousands of dollars on food.
Yeah.
And I'm barely making 248, trying to be heavy for the 253. So
Right.
it's not as much of a struggle. I'm not walking around bloated. I'm not feeling sluggish or anything. It's more eating based on how I'm feeling at the time, and it's just a lot easier, healthier cut for me, right? So
Yeah.
like I'm a lot leaner. I got veins going down
Yeah.
every inch of my legs, my fucking shoulders, my chest, everything. I'm pretty much a walking hard on right now.
Right.
So, but
So do you feel like you lost any strength in having to cut down a bit, or
no,
Not really,
I don't.
no.
I don't think. Actually, I think I'm stronger.
really?
I was trying to build myself up to that 240 just because everything's a lot leaner,
Yeah.
a lot tighter. I'm not killing myself, making myself sluggish
Right.
when I go to do my workouts just for the amount of food I'm trying to eat. So everything feels a lot more natural for me.
Okay.
So it's, I think I'm stronger at this weight than I am at 248 just because I'm a little more sluggish. Right?
Interesting. Yeah. So you're a little quicker and no needless weight. Because there's no point in putting on weight if it's just fat tissue, right? That's not going to help you.
It's not. For me, it's not going to help, right? Like the only weight I can really gain is if it's muscle mass,
Right.
And that's eating a shit ton and training a shit ton. So
Yeah.
I'll put on a little layer of fluff, but it's not super productive in any way. So.
Right. Fair enough. Can you take us through any history you have with Kydyrgali, Ongarbaev? None.
Zero history. The only history I have of holding his hand was when I walked into the Hilton Arlington and I shook his hand. That's the only history I have with Kydyrgali.
Okay.
I've seen what he can do with many other opponents. A lot of them I've never even competed against myself, so it's kind of hard to judge where I will be with him just because he hasn't really pulled many of the athletes that I've been pulling.
Right.
So it's a whole new field, a whole new playing game, and a whole new experience for I think both of us. So
for those watching, we're in the Hilton Arlington right now. So what did you think when you saw him? What, an hour ago?
he's fucked.
Okay, I can't wait to talk to him. Really,
I feel good, but I can't. Every time I've ever let any bit of confidence get to me before a match, I've shit the bed. So even though I feel confident just shaking his hand, I'm still putting in my mind that he's a bad dude and he's gonna give me a bad day. So it's the more nervous I am going into these matches, I find the more better I perform. I perform better when I'm nervous. And when I'm worried about my opponent, as opposed to thinking I'm just gonna mop the floor with the gun.
So because that adrenaline helps feed into your
100%. The nerves and everything else are kicking in, right? So it makes it a lot easier to get to that spot.
no, that makes sense. Where do you think your ceiling is? Could you be the guy in this class?
105 kg class, I think I am the guy in the 105 kg class. I am the guy in the 105 kg class. So
This is so exciting. This is a whole new Matt Mask.
this is gonna be my home. I'm hoping for a while. Until they get sick of me spanking everybody in the 105. And they say you got to start moving up. So,
I love to hear that. Big things coming from Matt Mask. Now, this event is headlined by John Brzenk versus Yoshi Kanai. And so I got to hear, who do you have in that match?
My heart, every fiber of my being's cheering for John.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to lose my voice tomorrow night just because I'm going to be screaming so much for
You and the rest of us, yep.
Yeah, but I worry right now with John and his age and his issues. You can see the stamina isn't quite there as what it used to be. I think Yoshi's move is very, very bad for John. I can see his stamina really depleting drastically, pulling somebody like Yoshi. I really hope John is able to take the hand, transition to the press right away, and get it done quick.
Right.
As the rounds continue to progress, especially after seeing what Yoshi was able to do with Hutchins,
Scary.
it really, really makes me wonder if John is going to be able to pull it off with Yoshi. So
Yeah, those are valid concerns. I was talking to Yoshi earlier. He said this may be the best version of himself ever. And he has pins on John. And so John has his work cut out for him. However, he looks great. John is John, so I'm never going to doubt that.
I don't think there's a single person that's competing at this level that hasn't been somewhat inspired or looked up to John in some way or another throughout their arm wrestling careers. Yeah. So I think this is isn't just going to be an amazing moment, but I think it's going to be a very emotional moment for many, many arm wrestlers around the world, just because the fact that this could be the last time we see John on a stage like this, right?
Could be.
So,
yeah.
And I really hope we're all wrong. And I hope that we see another 15 years of John and he's walking up on his fucking walker and get to the table. So
what a sight to behold. We owe him everything. You can't separate John and arm wrestling and John. He has done so much for the sport.
John is arm wrestling.
He is, exactly.
100%.
Exactly. So we're all excited to see a legendary rematch on Saturday. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you how you feel about Devin's match. You know him better than most people. So
I love Corey. I think Corey's awesome.
Yeah.
But, you're fucking
I'm going to have to do so much editing in this video, Matt.
You don't need to edit nothing.
Yeah.
Keep it real. Hey, let the F-bombs roll.
Yeah. So fair to say you think Devin has this
I think Corey out of the gates is going to give Devin a lot of trouble round one, possibly round two.
Yeah.
But I think as soon as Devin gets a little bit of a stop, which I believe he's going to get probably by round two.
Sure.
And then he's just going to bleed Corey like he does everybody else. And the longer the matches go, the more and more it's going to turn into Devin's favor. So I'm going to say Devin's going to take this 1-3-1 just because Corey's going to come out like a fucking freight train at the beginning and kind of surprise Devin a little bit. But I think after that we're going to see Devin do his thing, right?
Okay, it's going to be a good day for Canada, you're saying. All right, all around. We love to hear it. I want to end the video by giving you the floor. Do you have a message for Ongarbaev?
No, hang on, motherfucker, because she's going to be a hell of a rat. So, and if you haven't already, buy the fucking pay-per-view.
There we go. Thank you for doing my job for me, Matt. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time. We cannot wait to see you on Saturday. Again, a link to the pay-per-view will be in the description, along with a ton of really cool East versus West 17 exclusive merchandise. And lastly, if you haven't yet, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, and you could be the lucky winner of a signed East versus West strap by none other than Matt Mask himself, soon to be the guy in the 105 category, allegedly. We'll find out on Saturday. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you in the next one. Take care.